When I started out as an actress on set, I realized something pretty quickly. The producer has all the power. They call the shots, they assemble the team, they decide what actually gets made. And when a movie wins Best Picture, the Oscar goes to...
And the Oscar goes to
the producer.
Wow.
But if you Google, what does a producer do? You mostly find definitions and job titles. Executive producer, associate producer, co-producer, creative producer. What you don't find is the real answer. How does a producer actually make a movie? It can get complicated really fast. So in this short video essay, I'm going to break down 3 essential skills every film producer needs. Because produce literally means make. And if you want to be a filmmaker, you want to be a film producer. Whether you're a writer, actor, or director, if you want your indie film to get made, you need producing skills.
Hi, I'm Renny Grames. I'm a producer.
As a producer, I've exploded heads, hired monkeys, built vagina walls. Yes, you heard that correctly. Made lots and lots of puppets, and even built a prison shower inside of a studio with working shower heads so that the dancers, aka prisoners, could splash around while they're singing and dancing their little tune. I have produced hundreds of campaigns at this point, as well as released the instant classic all-American sci-fi action comedy feature film, Alien Country, now available on all platforms. And I also became a mom. The number one question I get as a producer is, what's the budget? Some form of what is this going to cost? Let's start with skill number 1 you need to learn. Figuring out how much a script costs. Important side note, usually people come to you with a set amount of money, such as, we only have $500, can we pull this script off for that amount of money? No. Here's what you can do with your $500. You can take your iPhone and you can do it that way. But to illustrate this one skill, I'm going to take one line from a script that I produced and show you how a producer needs to learn to think. Interior city bus day. Jack, 30s, a Keanu-type action movie hero, jumps into the aisle. Here's what the average person thinks.
Cool, awesome, this sounds fun.
Oh yeah, speed?
Up my alley.
Here's what the client thinks.
Oh my gosh, I'm finally making movies.
The director? Ooh, I can't wait to find the perfect Jack.
Oh, I know the guy. I know the guy.
Play Jack.
The DP.
Oh yeah, we're going handheld. We're gonna go from this angle. This is gonna be so sweet. This is gonna be a great addition to my reel. Here's what a producer thinks. Interior city bus day. Jack, 30s, a Keanu-type action movie hero, jumps into the aisle.
Okay, so are we shooting this practically or are we shooting this in a studio? And if it's in a studio, are we doing a green screen or are we doing an LED wall? If it's a green screen, probably means we need to remove the windows. Are we renting the bus or are we buying the bus? If we're renting the bus, we have to return the bus with the windows intact, and I don't know how practical that is. With a green screen, we've got to replace all of that, which means a lot of visual effects work, which means we got to budget that in post. And if we don't want to do that for time and money, then we got to shoot it practically, which means we're dealing with motion sickness and we're dealing with ADR, and we got to find a driver and we got to find permits and we got to literally drive in circles, think about the time of day that we're shooting. Actors might get sick and it's going to be hot and stuffy on this bus, and we're going to have to do ADR in post. So with this one line of script, interior city bus day, Jack, 30s, a Keanu-style action movie hero jumps into the aisle. That's where my brain goes.
Each way you practically approach filming this one line will drastically affect your budget. So what did we do on this one? We shot practically on a bus.
Whoa, welcome to my crib. Come on in.
This particular shoot was a blast, and you can check out a more detailed breakdown, including how, in addition to filming on a bus, we also had to shoot 3 separate bathroom locations that very same day. How did we pull that off? Watch the breakdown on the Indie Film Crew Patreon, absolutely free. Now let's talk about essential skill number 2. You need to learn how to hire the right people. One of the key things a producer needs to do is assembling a team. This literally means breaking down a script, dissecting the creative, like understanding the voice, tone, style. Is this sarcastic? Is this a parody? Is this dramatic? Is this moody? How is this going to look at the end of the day, which could be influenced by the client, the brand, the director? Understanding all that intuitively and then knowing the team that you need to bring to the table. Who's the right DT? Who's the right production designer? Who's gonna be the right wardrobe person? Everybody that I've worked with, I call them my secret weapons. My extremely talented crews that I get to hire will have a strength or a niche, some sort of forte that they can bring to the table that will bring a creative piece to life. This is really about curating talent and choosing the right people for the job. There was a client that came to us that wanted a really poppy, vibrant look in a classroom. I knew the exact director that I wanted to hire for that, and I pitched that to the team because no matter what he produces, it always has a really poppy, cartoony, exciting vibe. And he's gonna know the people that he wants to help bring on board in order to achieve that vision. Honestly, this is probably my favorite part of the job. I get to hire experts, people who are brilliant at what they do, whether that means
building a cafe, or whether that means building a prison bathroom with working showers inside a studio. Or I've hired people to build a jungle, literally a jungle within a studio, and it had waterfalls and it had plants and it had green screen in the back, and it felt like this expansive universe.
When you hire the right experts, they will help you figure out how to pull off creatively what you need to figure out logistically. And bonus, the right people will also help you determine how much something will cost, and hopefully get you the best bang for your buck.
It's not always the producer's job to come up with the solution, but it is the producer's job to understand what the solutions are and hire the people who can present those solutions. And then often the producer is the one who has to choose which solution we're going to utilize.
This leads to skill number 3. When you have limited time and a limited budget, you need to learn how to make the right call. To illustrate this, let's take another single line from a script. Dazaroth's hand rises from the bottom of the shot and grabs Kevin's exposed foot. Okay, so what is Dazaroth?
Dazaroth is a monster. Is Dazaroth an animated monster? Is he a puppet monster? In this instance, we decided to make a puppet. And a puppet can be a hand puppet. It could be like these weird tentacles coming out from under the bed. But we decided that Dazaroth needed to be a person with a big goat head. And we had to work with designers and the creative team and the director and the client. So we had like 4 people coming in and voicing their opinion to settle on the design of this character. And once we settled on the design of that character, we literally had to break down the cost with the designer, materials, labor, what a puppeteer cost. We had a human person inside of a bodysuit with a huge head on playing this Dazaroth character. So what did that mean moving forward? We had to actually build a set that was raised 5 feet off the ground so that the puppeteer could stand under the bed, and we had to cut a hole in the set so that the puppeteer could be under the bed, and we had to have enough room between the bed and the floor so the puppeteer could get their head out under the bed. Once again, this one line, Dazaroth's hand rises from the bottom of the shot and grabs Kevin's exposed foot, had a lot of cost implications that is impossible to know until you dive into the script and really understand and break down, which could take several weeks. I, as a producer, didn't exactly know how to solve this problem or break it down initially. I had to know how to ask the right questions and hire the right people in order to come to an accurate breakdown of what this script meant.
So as a producer, it is your job to look at the solutions and make the call. Which solutions can we afford? Which solutions will give the best end result? This skill is all about managing people and their expectations.
That could be based off of feedback from the director, the client. Like if one solution is gonna be $100,000 versus another solution is gonna be $10,000, it might be an easy decision for the producer to make. Oh, we're going with the $10,000 solution. Or the producer can take the $100,000 solution back to the client and be like, hey, if you want this to look super Hollywood scale, this is the option that we have on the table, and they may or may not approve it. Sometimes as a producer, you have to be willing to be the bad guy, which often means presenting options to the director or the client or even your executive producer and saying, this is why this is a good decision, or this is why this is a bad decision, or literally, we don't have the money for this, we're not doing it. And you have to kind of put your foot down, which can be hard, it can be a bummer. I think the best producers in the world are able to present a solution to a problem and pitch it in such a way that everybody thinks they're the good guy, even though they're really getting what they want.
Okay, so real talk here. I met a Hollywood producer who changed my mindset forever on what it means to be a producer. He told me a producer is a problem solver that's constantly putting out fires, which changed my mindset from, instead of focusing on the negative, oh my gosh, we don't have the money, we don't have this, we don't have that, how are we gonna get this done, to, okay, what do we have? How can we get this done? How much? Who's the right person? What's the right call? If you want to dive deeper, I made a video on our free Patreon community where I walk through breaking down a script and showing a more detailed look at these 3 skills in action. Every film shoot is going to be wildly different, which is why this is such an exciting job. For instance, I recently produced an industrial where we had one day on set at a grocery store and we had so much footage to cover that I ended up being the second unit director, which was really, really fun. You can check that out as well as a bunch of other tutorials and producer tools, again, absolutely free. Come be part of our indie film crew community. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, all the things. We'll see you next time.